Welcome to Transition University. Today's topic will be employment. There is an entire area of specialized supports that are available to individuals with disabilities. QR codes, websites, and additional information and explanations can be found in the youth work booklet in the yellow section. Some of these you may have heard of, and some of these may be new to you. Our purpose is to give you the information so you will have options and resources when you reach a point in life where one or several of these services may be a good fit for you. There is not just one pathway to getting a job. Most people have to try several things before they get it just right. Employment should be one of our expected outcomes of our transition planning, and we should use this time of transition to explore interests, strengths, skills, and needed supports. There are endless opportunities for work if we are willing to be patient and creative and advocate for what we need to be successful. Ask your school or vocational rehabilitation counselor about transition assessments. Remember to focus on the interests and strengths of the individual seeking employment. Try a variety of jobs. Encourage resilience. If the first job isn't a home run, that is okay. Every experience is helpful and allows the individual to further narrow their field of interest. Youth benefit from meaningful, productive, active work. Being needed improves the quality of our lives. As parents, we can play a critical role in helping our youth stay positive and motivated. Utah is an employment-first state, so every government agency serving people with disabilities is mandated to make employment a priority and to use their funding to support employment. You can invite a VR representative, that VR stands for vocational rehabilitation, typically a transition counselor, to your transition IEP meetings and apply for services at any point beyond the age of 14. This agency has counselors for every high school and charter school in the state. Utilize them to help you reach your goals. Pre-employment training services, or pre-ETS, can be developed for the youth through VR. Career exploration activities provided as part of transition planning to all students who are on an IEP or a 504 plan. Services may be provided in the school setting or in the community by a contracted provider. Once you apply, vocational rehabilitation assessments may be administered. VR writes an individual plan for employment and the individual seeking employment. The plan includes an employment goal, assessments, and the steps needed to meet that employment goal. As an example, VR can potentially help fund training, whether that is short-term or long-term, in a tech or traditional college. It also can include job placement in a desired job and on-the-job coaching. The Division of Services for People with Disabilities, or DSPD, through support coordination, is designed for those that have long-term needs in order to find and keep employment. It enables longer on-the-job training and development on needed skills. It can start slow with just a few hours a week of work and then increase as individuals are ready. DSPD can also provide behavior supports and supported employment for those that qualify. Many day programs focus on job training skills and offer individuals opportunities to work in the community as well. Apply for DSPD. There is a waiting list. Individuals come off the waiting list based on available funding and the needs of the individual. Some may think there is no point in applying because the list is so long. However, if you are on the list, you may qualify for one-time pots of funding. It also shows the Utah legislature the incredible need. And if you're not on the list, you are not guaranteed to be funded. We will go into these options on the next few slides. Supported employment services is for individuals with the most significant disabilities who require support to find, learn, and keep a job in an integrated setting. Individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, serious mental illness, acquired brain injury, and other significant disabilities are assisted to work in competitive integrated employment through supported employment services. Individuals and their vocational rehabilitation counselors work together to determine the required support needed. On occasion, they work with a community rehabilitation partner, or a CRP, who has contracted with VR to provide job development, job placement, and job coaching services. Sometimes a coach will go to the place of employment with the individual to work on skills on the job. If you reach 24 months of employment, extended support with DSPD funds is possible. Individual Placement and Support, or IPS, is an evidence-based specific type of supported employment model developed out of Dartmouth College to assist individuals to find employment that meets their specific needs, interests, and skills, and supports them in ways that promote success in the workplace. IPS is run by VR and the Office of Substance Use and Mental Health here in Utah. In simple terms, customized employment is real work for real pay. Customized employment is an option when typical supported employment strategies have not been successful, or when customized employment strategies may more successfully meet a client's individualized support needs. The program is an extension of supported employment services, where the job seeker's skills, interests, and needs are identified in a process of discovery. The job and its tasks are customized to the individual's skills and interests by the client, community rehabilitation program, and the employer. The service can include setting up a business around the person's interests or abilities, or it can include a job carving where the individual does pieces of other people's jobs to create a complete job. If you are 18 years old and have a documented disability, you can apply for SSI benefits, and we'll talk about SSI in more detail in the SSI module. The income received from this can assist in paying living expenses such as rent, clothing, or other necessary items. It can also help qualify an individual for SNAP and medical benefits through Medicaid. These benefits may be affected if full-time employment is obtained, but can be very helpful in the meantime. They can help offset the expense of having adult children living with their parents and offer a measure of independence that they may not otherwise have. At Workforce Services, you can apply for Medicaid and food stamps. For SSI recipients, there are additional programs to help with employment, and we will go into each of these in the next few slides. They assist an individual in becoming more independent without losing needed benefits until they are gainfully employed. Impairment-related work expenses, IRWE, are costs for items or services that you need in order to work because of your disability. Social Security will deduct the costs of an IRWE from your countable income when determining your eligibility for Social Security disability benefits. IRWE conditions are: the expense cannot be reimbursed somewhere else, it must relate to the individual's disability, and it must be needed in order to work. So here's an example. Let's say an individual on SSI earns $1,000 per month from work, and this is their only income. Each month, the individual pays $250 for a special transportation service to commute to work, and this service is required due to their disability. Social Security considers this expense an IRWE and deducts the cost from their countable income when determining their SSI cash payment. A blind or disabled child who is a student regularly attending school, college, or a university, or a course of vocational or technical training can have limited earnings that are not counted against their supplemental security income, which is SSI benefits. For 2022, for this year, the student earned income exclusion amounts increased by 5.9%, up to $2,040 per month, but not more than $8,230 for the year. PASS is an SSI provision to help individuals with disabilities return to work. If the young adult receives SSI or could qualify for SSI, after setting aside income or resources so they can pursue a work goal, they could benefit from PASS. With PASS, you can create an employment plan. If it is approved, you can deduct expenses related to the plan from your earned income. The money you set aside does not count as income when determining your SSI payments. For example, PASS allows an individual with a disability to set aside money and things they own to pay for items or services needed to achieve a specific work goal. The objective of PASS is to help individuals with disabilities find employment that reduces or eliminates SSI or SSDI benefits. It also allows persons with disabilities conditions to set aside money for purchases, installment payments, and down payments for things like a vehicle, a wheelchair, or a computer if it's needed to reach their work goal. So contact your local Social Security office for more information, or you can contact a vocational rehabilitation counselor to apply. A pass plan, contains the name of the job or the business of where you're working, the steps you will take, transportation, childcare, and assistive technology as needed, and a timetable for achieving your goal. A vocational rehabilitation counselor can assist in creating the plans. This program supports career development for Social Security disability beneficiaries age 18 through 64 who want to work. So the Ticket to Work program is free and voluntary. The Ticket program helps people progress towards financial independence. Individuals who receive Social Security benefits because of a disability and are ages 18 through 64 probably already qualify for the program. The Ticket to Work program is a good fit for people who want to improve their earning potential and are committed to preparing for long-term success in the workplace. The Ticket program offers beneficiaries access to meaningful employment with the assistance of Ticket to Work employment service providers called employment networks, or EN. If an individual does end up qualifying for either SSI or SSDI, they can also ask to be enrolled in the Ticket to Work program so they can identify how employment can help or impact a person's benefits. If an individual contacts the Social Security Administration with questions about how employment impacts benefits, they will automatically be referred to an agency known as UWIPS, Utah Work Incentive Planning Program. UWIPS helps people who are currently receiving Social Security disability benefits and would like information on employment and how it will affect their Social Security and other benefits like Medicaid, Medicare, food stamps, housing, etc. UWIPS also educates people about helpful work incentives and community resources. They also teach how to report earnings to the Social Security. ePass is a Medicaid service for people with disabilities who work and need medical assistance to maintain their employment. Services are provided by a personal assistant who may provide assistance with multiple tasks, including, but not limited to, mobility, dressing, meal preparation, personal hygiene, or housework and finances. One of the biggest obstacles to competitive and integrated employment for Utahns with disabilities is a fear of losing their Social Security check or Medicaid on which they depend. In addition to UWIPS, the Disability Law Center's Benefits Planning Service may be an option. While it's primarily intended for transition age youth, ages 14 to 25, and day program participants, they will work with anyone with a disability who is eligible or receiving SSI, Title II, Medicaid Section 8 housing assistance, food stamps, family employment program, VA benefits, etc. They can also work with individuals not eligible for or enrolled in vocational rehabilitation or VR. This worksheet from Charting the Life course, which we'll be discussing in another module, can help you identify various supports that can be used to find a job. This star focuses on employment, while another star we'll go over later in the green module is focused on integrated supports. The pink area identifies how can technology help me achieve my goal. The teal area discusses what are my assets and strengths that will help me achieve my goal. Purple, who are the people in my life and how can they help me reach my goal? Green, what kind of eligibility supports could I access and how will they help me reach my goal? We will be going over these in the green module. The blue section also discusses what community assets can I use to help achieve my goal. Soft skills are less tangible, but just as essential for getting and keeping a job. This slide shows some of the skills we can work on. You can never start too early working on soft skills, and you can use alternative modes of interacting with others for those that don't speak with words. Independent living centers can be helpful to families on the DSPD waiting list or for individuals seeking a social outlet. The center can provide individualized training on things like cooking, budgeting, shopping, and other life skills. One resource that may help you with life skills as well as employment is the Utah Center for Assistive Technology, or UCAT. UCAT provides assistance for improving the lives of individuals with disabilities. They offer free consultations. They provide a place where people with disabilities, advocates, teachers, and other professionals can try out computer hardware and preview software applications with one-on-one support. Please call ahead for when you need an appointment. They also provide workshops for parents and professionals concerning many aspects of applying computer technology to the needs of individuals with disability. They also provide information and are a technology resource center. They answer questions and provide information on many types of adaptive equipment and special software. There's also augmentative communication. The center has a contract to work with the Utah Assistive Technology Teams, or UAT, in public schools throughout the state of Utah. Under this agreement, they can loan augmentative devices and adaptive equipment to teachers and therapists on UAT for their use in assessing oral and written communication needs of students. The Job Accommodation Network is a source of free guidance that offers a source of free guidance online and over the phone on workplace accommodations. They also help people with disabilities enhance their employability. They offer one-on-one guidance on workplace accommodations. In our first workshop, which is the purple section of our Transition University website, we talked all about advocacy and disclosing our disabilities. And we talked about the meaning of the word disclose. It is important for those with disabilities that may not be immediately recognized to know their rights when seeking employment. For those with invisible disabilities, accommodations may not be automatically made, and you may need to advocate a little more strongly for your needs in order to be recognized. For those with an invisible disability, it can be complicated if, when, and how to disclose your disability. If you do not know how to disclose your disability, and your employer is not required to make accommodations, and you are not protected by the American Disabilities Act that we talked about in our first workshop. So just to clarify, sometimes it's hard for individuals with disabilities to know when they should tell their employer about their disability. And we also need to understand that accommodations can't be made until we disclose that disability. So if your employer has any federal funding, you would also be covered by a Section 504 if you disclose. When you disclose, be sure to highlight your strengths and your abilities and be forthcoming about the accommodations that you might need. Come with specific ideas for accommodations, but be flexible and willing to try a variety of accommodations. Employment is possible. Employment correlates to the education or the IEP plan, and the IEP should reflect the current employment goals and courses of study that will help the student move toward meaningful employment. So whether you have an IEP that details you leaving school to work at a grocery store or a home improvement store, or whatever is of interest to you, that can be written into your IEP plan. And all of these tools that we've talked about can be part of you exploring options for employment. If you have any questions about employment, please refer to the yellow section of the Youth Workbooklet found in the yellow section of Transition University on our website, or in the handbook section of our website under the Youth Workbooklet. Please also reach out to Vocational Rehabilitation or to the Utah Parent Center and ask to speak with one of our parent consultants, and we will do our best to help you with any of your questions.